Have you ever, thought about anyone ascending to heaven, like before Jesus? It might surprise you there's actually a figure way back in the Old Testament
Yeah, it's a
who is believed to have done just that.
it's a fascinating story. It often gets a little overshadowed by some of the more well-known narratives
Right.
in those texts.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to dive deep into today.
Okay.
The story of Enoch.
Mhm.
He's not just some, minor character.
Yeah,
We're talking about the great-grandfather of Noah, a
exactly.
figure revered across Christianity, Islam, and Judaism.
His presence in all those different traditions really speaks to, certain human aspirations,
Yeah.
like particularly that desire to connect with the divine.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we'll be exploring the Book of Genesis, the Quran, and to add a little intrigue, the Book of Enoch itself. Now,
Yeah,
full
that's
disclosure,
fair.
that last one isn't part of the traditional biblical canon.
That's right. Yeah. It's considered apocryphal,
Right.
meaning its authenticity is debated, but it's
Mm.
still, regardless of its canonical status, the Book of Enoch offers a wealth of detail about this pretty enigmatic figure.
Yeah, it really does. And that's part of what makes this deep dive so compelling. We're going to explore why Enoch's story is so often overlooked, what it reveals about faith,
Yeah.
and perhaps even glean some insights into humanity's age-old fascination with the cosmos.
I think there's a lot to uncover here, and I think we'll find that Enoch's journey resonates with contemporary ideas in some pretty unexpected ways.
I'm excited to get into it, but first let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
Who exactly was Enoch?
Well, according to the Book of Genesis, Enoch was part of the lineage leading up to Noah,
Okay.
playing a significant role in that ancestral line. Genesis 5.24 actually sums up his entire story in a single intriguing sentence.
Oh, wow.
Enoch walked faithfully with God, then he was no more because God took him away.
Wow. It's almost like a teaser, isn't it?
It is.
Leaving us with so many questions.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have other texts like the Quran to fill in some of the gaps.
Indeed, in Islamic tradition, Enoch is known as Idris,
Okay.
a revered prophet celebrated for his wisdom and unwavering faith. The Quran, specifically Surah Maryam 19.5657, recounts Idris being elevated to a high station,
Ah.
which many scholars interpret as an ascension to heaven.
It's fascinating how both accounts, despite originating from different cultures and time periods,
Right.
emphasize
Mhm.
Enoch's profound connection with God
Yeah,
as a key factor in his ultimate fate.
exactly.
Yeah.
That shared emphasis, suggests that this concept of divine favor being bestowed upon those who walk a righteous path
Uh-huh.
is a deeply resonant theme across different spiritual traditions.
Now let's delve into some of the more intriguing aspects of Enoch's story,
Okay.
starting with the idea of his exceptional wisdom. The Book of Enoch describes him as a scribe of God,
Right.
entrusted with knowledge of the universe that seemed to be far ahead of his time. It makes you wonder if there might be some connection to what we've discovered through modern science.
It's a compelling thought, especially when you consider some of the specific details mentioned in the Book of Enoch. For instance, it describes celestial realms and phenomena that, while presented in symbolic language,
Yeah.
bear striking resemblance to modern astronomical concepts.
There are descriptions of Enoch like journeying through the heavens,
Right.
witnessing the intricate workings of the cosmos, and even encountering celestial beings.
It's pretty amazing.
It's a story that truly captures the imagination. It really does feel like we're getting a glimpse into, knowledge that was perhaps lost or forgotten over time.
Yeah.
But these descriptions, even if symbolic,
Yeah.
raise the question, what did Enoch actually see and experience?
That's where this concept of divine ascension comes into play. While it's only mentioned briefly in the Bible and the Quran,
Right.
the Book of Enoch offers a much more elaborate account of this extraordinary event.
Okay, so let's unpack this idea of ascension a little bit. We know it's not unique to Enoch's story.
Right.
It's featured in other religious narratives, most notably with Jesus.
Okay.
What can you tell us about, the significance of ascension in these different contexts?
Well, the idea of ascension, particularly to a heavenly realm,
Mm-hmm.
speaks to this fundamental human desire for transcendence.
Okay.
It symbolizes a spiritual elevation, a connection to a higher power that surpasses
Right.
the limitations of our earthly existence.
So in Enoch's case, his ascension is directly linked to his faithful walk with God.
Yes.
It's almost as if he was rewarded for his piety and righteousness.
Yes. And that's a common thread in a lot of accounts of ascension.
Okay.
It's seen as the culmination of a life devoted to spiritual pursuits,
Mm-hmm.
a testament to this deep and unwavering connection with the divine.
Even though Enoch's ascension is mentioned in both the Bible and the Quran,
Right.
he doesn't seem to get the same level of recognition as other figures,
Yeah.
like Noah or Moses. Why do you think that is?
Well, that's an interesting question. While Enoch's story is certainly compelling,
Yeah.
it is presented in a rather concise manner in those mainstream religious texts. Perhaps his story is meant to be more of a subtle reminder
Right.
of the possibilities of divine favor rather than, a grand narrative
Right.
like the flood or the Exodus.
So maybe it's not about the scale of the event, but the depth of the spiritual transformation.
Exactly.
It's about that personal connection with God,
Yeah.
that unwavering faith
Yeah.
that ultimately leads to this extraordinary experience.
Exactly. And that's a message that resonates deeply with individuals from, various spiritual backgrounds.
Right.
It suggests that true spiritual growth isn't necessarily about performing miracles or
Right.
leading revolutions, but about cultivating an inner connection with the divine.
It's about that quiet, consistent walk of faith that Enoch embodies so perfectly.
Exactly.
His story reminds us that even without, grand achievements, a life dedicated to spiritual pursuits
Yeah.
can lead to profound experiences
Yeah.
and a deep connection with the divine.
It's a testament to the power of personal devotion and the transformative potential of a life aligned with one's spiritual beliefs.
Right.
And this brings us to another important aspect of Enoch's story, his legacy and what it means for us today.
Right. So how does Enoch's story resonate with people today?
Yeah.
Even those who might not be familiar with the specific details of his life.
Well, Enoch, despite his ancient origins,
Uh-huh.
offers us this timeless message about the human potential for connection with the divine.
Yeah.
His journey speaks to our innate desire
Right.
to transcend our earthly limitations
Uh-huh.
and tap into a realm of greater meaning and purpose.
It's that inherent longing within us to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
So
Find meaning and purpose beyond the everyday.
Precisely. And Enoch's story, regardless of one's specific beliefs,
Okay.
serves as a powerful reminder that such a connection is possible.
Yeah.
It invites us to consider the unseen forces that
Yeah.
may be at play in our lives
Right.
and the potential for experiencing the extraordinary through faith and spiritual exploration.
So even though he may not be as famous as some other biblical figures, Enoch's story offers a compelling message for contemporary audiences.
Absolutely.
It's about recognizing that potential within each of us to connect with the divine and the transformative power of a life dedicated to that pursuit.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that those who dedicate themselves to a righteous path
Yeah.
may find themselves favored in ways they never could have imagined.
Right.
Enoch's story is an invitation to explore the depths of our own spirituality and consider the possibilities that await those who embrace a life of faith.
Yeah, it's truly amazing how a figure from so long ago can still offer such relevant insights for us today.
Enoch's story really encourages us to think about our own potential for spiritual growth and the possibilities that might exist beyond our current understanding.
Yeah, it speaks to the enduring power of these ancient narratives. They offer like a framework for exploring these universal questions about faith, purpose, and our place in
Right.
the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And what I find particularly fascinating is how Enoch's story like intertwines with those age-old questions about the cosmos and humanity's connection to the divine. It's almost as if he was given this glimpse into the mysteries of the universe,
Yeah.
knowledge that we're only now beginning to rediscover through science.
Yeah. It is a thought-provoking parallel. The Book of Enoch, with its descriptions of celestial realms and cosmic phenomena,
Right.
seems to suggest this awareness of the universe that extended far beyond the scientific understanding of his time.
It does make you wonder if there's a connection between these ancient spiritual insights and the discoveries we're making about the universe today.
Yeah.
Perhaps those who walked a path of deep spiritual connection
Yeah.
were granted access to knowledge that was otherwise hidden from humanity.
It's an intriguing possibility, and it really highlights how these ancient stories can challenge us to think beyond the limitations of our current perspectives. They invite us to consider, alternative ways of knowing and understanding the world around us.
Right. So as we wrap up our deep dive into this extraordinary world of Enoch,
Yeah.
I think what stands out the most is how his story, though often overlooked, offers this really timeless message of hope and possibility.
Absolutely. Enoch's journey reminds us that even amidst the challenges of life,
Yeah.
there's always this potential for spiritual growth,
Right.
for connection with something greater than ourselves,
Uh-huh.
and for, experiencing the extraordinary through faith.
It's a message that resonates so deeply with the human spirit, that yearning to transcend our limitations and embrace a life filled with purpose and meaning.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, Enoch's story serves as a roadmap, a guide for those seeking a deeper connection with the divine and the universe we inhabit.
It certainly invites us to consider the unseen forces that may be at work in our lives
Right.
and to explore the vast potential that lies within each of us.
Enoch's story is such a powerful reminder that a life dedicated to spiritual growth,
Yeah.
regardless of our individual beliefs, can lead to profound experiences and a deeper understanding of our place in the cosmos. So as you reflect on all we've discussed today,
Or
I really encourage you to ask yourself, what does Enoch's story mean to you? What possibilities does it awaken within your own understanding of faith and the universe? This deep dive into the world of Enoch ends not with answers,
Right.
but with a call to continue exploring,
Exactly.
to keep seeking,
Yeah.
and to always remain open to the extraordinary.